Welcome to the night section. So guys, we all know by now that the music industry is not what it's all cracked up to be. This goes for aspiring artists and current relevant artists. It's not for artists in general. The people that are really making money are the big labels and corporations. For every time a signed artist makes $1 million off of streams, just multiply that by 10 for the label. Essentially, I'm saying that this music industry in the mainstream sense has little to do with the actual content of the music, but more so about how much that music can generate monetarily. It's a business, and for such a long time before the internet, the only real way to make money as an artist was to sign. And only in the last, I would say, 10 to 20 years have we really seen multiple independent artists not only make a living, but actually make a living such that generations to come will be able to live on that money. And I'm talking multi-millionaire status. And one of those artists is Russ.
I had a TuneCore, and I was making hundreds of thousands. I was making 100K, right? A month, let's call it roughly a month. So
Jesus.
I'm not taking, and this is like no label, no, like me in my basement, right?
It's like through your P.O. box. 100,000.
Nah, and it pays out every Friday. So when labels start talking to me, like, I'm not taking your usual 600K advance with some royalty rate deal. Like, because I have belief in this, and I know that if I'm making 100K in July 2016, by December 2016, it's 170. And by December 2017, it's 270, and so on and so forth, right?
Not only is his come-up story incredible, it's the fact that he actually shares it. It was organic, and he built a brand that I'm 100% sure will withstand the test of time. Whether you like his music or not isn't and shouldn't be important. And if it is, you're completely missing the point. It's the overarching theme when you scratch beneath the surface that is important. It is how he got there, why he got there. And today, we'll be covering what he's doing while he's there. And that's giving us an insight on how he became successful, that you as an independent artist should be paying attention to. And today we will be covering 3 major gems that Russ has dropped that I think will not only get you far in a music career, but in life. But before we get into it, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if you'd like to see more content like this. Gem number 1, patience and delayed gratification.
I'm not in a race to like hurry up and give me everything. Give me the number 1, give me the Grammys, give me the this. Nah, I'm gonna take my time with this because I'm running the marathon. I'm playing a long game. You know, longer it takes, the better. And the longer it takes for you to get on, the longer you're here, so.
The theme of this clip is patience and delayed gratification, a major gem. And I started with this one because it's a fundamental principle that you need to not only intellectually understand, but internalize so you can live and breathe by it. And it's easy to get caught up with what everybody else is doing, especially seeing other artists blow up on social media because you might feel peer pressure to rush and force success. But unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I mean, you might be able to gain success from rushing the process, but for how long? It's a very short-sighted approach. And this goes for literally any endeavor you want to pursue, even working out. I mean, you won't get a model physique per se until years down the line. There's some bodybuilders who've gotten their physique after 10 years of consistently working out. The bottom line is you can't rush any form of success. Does this mean that it will take you 10 years to be successful? Not necessarily. But if you go into it with the mindset of being willing to work for 10 years, though you might blow up within 2, you'll be way better off compared to someone rushing everything and then maybe signing a deal that is keeping them hostage. And in the clip, Russ understands the fundamental principle of patience and delayed gratification. Though he might be in a position that most of us dream of being in, at least for himself, he still hasn't accomplished everything he wanted to. And this is just me guessing, but for example, he still doesn't have a number 1 single or even a Grammy Award. Perhaps that's something he aspires to have, but he knows it will take time. And as he said in the clip, the longer it takes for you to get on, the longer you're here. Gem number 2, owning the means of operations.
Owning the means of operation is step 1 to this whole trying to blow up as an artist thing. And that just means putting the studio in your house. instead of having to pull up to a studio and working on other people's time because they may not have availability. You're spending unnecessary amount of money, and that money that you end up spending over the course of 6 months, a year, whatever, is enough to put that same thing in your house, in your bedroom, in your basement. And when you're trying to get on, which is the time that you need to spend the most in the gym, practicing, whatever, you can't afford for that shit to be 30 minutes away, and you got to be calling ahead and making sure they have availability. You got to put the gym in your house. If you're trying to get good at basketball, what do? You put the basketball goal in your driveway. So it's the same concept. It's like you got to put the gym in your house.
Now, we've all heard people making a lot of excuses as to why they can't do the thing they say they want to do. Like, oh, I don't have a quality microphone to record myself, or, oh, I don't have a professional camera to start a YouTube channel. Those are all excuses because truthfully, if there's a will, there's a way. There's plenty of artists, especially in the SoundCloud era, that have made it big with subpar recording quality. An example that I can think of off the top of my head is XXXTentacion. If you go way back to some of his early recordings back in like 2014, his Ice Hotel EP as an example, you can clearly hear that the quality of the recordings are terrible. But that would act as the foundation to what was to come, which was a successful career. The idea is to start somewhere. So as Russ is explaining in the clip, you have to start off owning your means of operations. That's just how it goes with any industry, especially if you don't have the funds to outsource. This would also enable you to get better much faster at your craft. The analogy he used is that it's like having your own home gym. You need to put the time and hours in to not only understand how to craft a song, but to get better, like improving your vocals, your tone, your delivery, and it would enable you the unlimited time to do so rather than having to run on somebody else's schedule. As well, it is cost effective, and for what you can't afford, you can make up with your time and effort. And nowadays, you could record a song on your phone. You could record a YouTube video on your phone, and there's plenty of successful YouTube channels where they are strictly recording with an iPhone. That's to say that there is absolutely no excuse. And in the case of Russ, he is known for producing, mixing, and engineering the majority of his catalog. This not only sped up his progress as an artist exponentially, but allowed him to have a huge fan base because he has a huge catalog. Having a fan base equates to money in your pocket, which then you can now use to make the process easier and record at that expensive studio for 12 hours at a time, or hire an engineer just to mix your songs. If that's not perhaps your strong suit, you can then outsource, and that's the key to not only liberating your time to become better at your chosen craft, but also multiplying your income. Gem number 3, owning your masters.
Go on the road for 2 months to bring home 200K. I've seen 200K in 2 weeks. I've done nothing but fucking drink water, these fucking meal preps, and work out and be kicking it in 2 weeks. I haven't left my house. So the narrative of just like, you got to tour to make money, that's how you're going to make your money, I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to let y'all know, no, the most lucrative part about the music business is owning the music.
That's all that needs to be said. The most lucrative part of the music industry is owning your music, point blank, period. Owning your music is probably the most important part of the game if you're looking for sustainable and long-lasting wealth. And I know some of my viewers are a little bit younger, but I really want you to listen to what I'm about to say. And that's that it might take you a very long time this way. And I mean a very, very, very long time to record yourself, to perhaps even learn how to produce if you can't pay someone to make beats for you, and even learning how to mix your tracks, and even turning down a deal down the line that you know will only have a short-term benefit, which is hard to do with a check that has a bunch of zeros written in your name. And I'm still pretty young myself, but what I've learned is that if you keep planting these seeds, watering and nurturing these seeds consistently, it will become fruitful one day. And the day it becomes fruitful, it will last you a lifetime. An artist like Russ is good for the rest of his life. That's why I will be singing his praises for the rest of my life, because he's really shown us that it is possible to become very successful and have long-standing success. All it requires is your patience and effort, and not selling yourself short, as well as not getting sidetracked by these people signing million-dollar record deals, but now not owning any of their music. Learn from the artists in the past that are dead broke now. but still have their songs playing on the radio that still generate millions of dollars to this day, with them not even seeing a dime. Stop thinking of your music as if it's disposable, as if it's just easily replaceable, when your music is one of your greatest assets that you have in this lifetime. We need to start treating music like $1 million art pieces or $1 million homes. You would never just give away a home like that. You would try to maximize its earning potential. Over time, the price of your home will go up, just like your music. And that's the mentality you have to have going into it. Aim for the long term. Own your masters. Don't let $1 million check that's not even really $1 million after taxes and lawyer fees get you to make a decision that can starve not only you down the line, but your great grandkids. Night section out.